et les joncs les hoppas, les chisons l'été, on voyage les temps.
Welcome back to Forgotten Friday. This is episode 6. Before we get into today's video, I would just like to say that we'll be streaming over on Twitch and the release of this video on the 31st of July. We might be playing the AMX-30 ACRA on stream. I'm not the biggest fan of it, so we might be playing that, and we might also be playing the German Tiger Heli as well, which could be very fun. We also have a Patreon page. If you like the content and you would like to support the content and make it even better in the future, go visit the Patreon page for some awesome behind the scenes and other cool content. But anyway, let's get on to today's video. And in today's episode, we're going to be playing the AMX-30 ACRA, or the ACRA, as I like to call it. This thing is an AMX-30 chassis with it's an AMX-30 turret, I believe, but it's an ATGM launcher. It has no normal tank rounds. It launches purely ATGMs and HE rounds, which I wouldn't use the HE rounds if I were you, unless you were firing at a really soft-skin target, which isn't very common at this BR. But yeah, the ATGMs have 700mm of pen. I think it's 350 at 60 degrees. Okay. Fair enough. 15-second reload time, depending on your crew. You can get it down to about 12 seconds, which I have in the video here with my crew, which is about 12.4 seconds, I think. If I'm honest, this AMX-30 is basically a worse version of the German KPC-70 and the American MBT-70 and the XM803. It can fire on the move, but it doesn't have gun stabilization like most French things, which is very annoying. You can fire on the move, but it won't be very accurate. And the armor, of course, is not the best. But we'll get into some games here and we'll show you how to play this thing. Okay, so we're in a game here. So with this tank, you want to kind of stay back, kind of like in behind lines, and kind of just use this tank as a support tank and ambush tank. You don't want to rush in cap points. You know, you don't want to do what the light tanks do. You don't want to do what the medium tanks do, because, yet again, you've got ATGMs on this thing. You don't have normal tank rounds, so you're going to want to stay back in the lines and kind of snipe things or get things in the distance and try not to be spotted. So you can see on this map here, there'll be tanks that are driving across the road, and I kind of, you know, just snipe them as they drive across. But with this tank, it's literally just all about staying in the back lines, trying not to be spotted, and just firing the ATGMs at a target, and then retreating back to reload, and then going back again. Because the difference with this and other like ATGM launchers, like the M103 or the like swing fires or stuff like that, is you have to expose the turret to fire at your target, because it fires out of the main gun of the tank. So you're going to want to be wary of that, because you can't hide the tank behind. You can hide the chassis behind stuff, but you can't hide the whole tank behind things, purely because it comes out of the main gun. Now, when playing this game did not go too well. We got a kill at the start, as you saw. We got the BMP. But in general, this game does not go so good, because it's, you know, it's a medium to close range map, which isn't very useful for a tank like this. Now, yes, you can kill things at close range of this. The ATGMs are 700mm of pen at 0 degrees, so you can easily pen stuff at close range. But the thing you've got to be careful of with that is that you can't shoot through things, because, you know, it will block the ATGM. So if something came in front of me right now, where I am now, I couldn't hit it because there's a fence there. And as you saw, that heli, the heli went behind the building. Now, onto helis actually. When you're shooting helis in the distance, you know, if they're really far away, just, you know, use the scope to aim at them. If they're kind of medium to closer ranges, you're not going to want to aim with the scope. You're going to want to aim the actual ATGM itself. So instead of, you know, tracking the helicopter with your scope, what you're going to want to do is actually use the mouse to move the ATGM, if that makes sense. So keep your eyes on the ATGM and move the ATGM with the mouse. Don't use the scope to aim if they're closer ranges. I think there's an example of that in a later game. I'll explain it when we get to the later game and I show you it. But yeah, as we were saying, close range stuff, you know, you're gonna hit fences, you're gonna hit cars, you're gonna hit stuff. Now, if you do want to fire, you know, play kind of strategically. If there is something in your way, try and, I don't know, machine gun it out the way without your target knowing, and then you can shoot them. Because, like I said, if you shoot the fence, it's just going to blow up and they're going to know you're there. Okay, so we're just going to move swiftly on to game number 2. Now, we're on the Ardennes map, and we do get a heli kill in this game. Spoilers. But that will give me a chance to show you what I mean about aiming the ATGM as to, you know, not tracking it with the actual scope itself. You'll see what I mean when I shoot it on a heli. But on this map, basically, the idea that I had was to go, you know, cap C and then go right around the edge and kind of just, you know, fire at people that were kind of heading towards B or C to kind of protect those points. That didn't work out so well, but we did get up tiered this game, which is never useful being in 9.3 with a tank that doesn't have any armor and can only fire ATGMs. Don't get me wrong, we can pen most things at 9.3 anyway. We could, you know, but the main problem with having an ATGM as your main weapon is the velocity of it. Now, you know, most tanks at this BR and 9.3 for definite will have Sabo rounds, APFSDS, which have, you know, a velocity of like 1500 and above, whereas my ATGMs have a velocity of 500, just 500 meters a second, which means if you both spot each other at exactly the same time, there's a higher chance that they will kill you before you kill them, because their round will hit you before yours hits them. Now, if they don't move out the way and you had your sight on them before you die, then yeah, it could still hit them and, you know, kill them. But most people just move out the way of it. So now we're coming up to the point where the helicopter is flying over. It's just below the C point over there, where my gun's looking. It's going to come out towards the right and kind of fly upwards. So at first we fire. I think we missed the first one. Then we start firing like rounds at it, and you'll see when we fire the second ATGM, because it's closer, we're not aiming with the sight, we're aiming the ATGM itself. So as you saw there, my crosshairs were not on the helicopter, so I was looking at the fire at the back of the ATGM and moving that fire with my mouse towards the heli. Another way you can think about it is kind of leading the target with the sight, but I find it easier if I actually look at the ATGM and move the ATGM with the mouse, if that makes sense. Because obviously if you aim your sight at the heli, it's the same as any other, you know, anti-aircraft missile carrier or, you know, flak. If you aim directly at your target while it's moving, you're not going to hit it. You have to aim ahead. But with this, I just aim with the ATGM instead of aiming, you know, a certain distance ahead. Like I said, if they're really far away in the distance, you know, like a few miles, and they're not really moving too much, then yes, you can aim with the crosshairs. But if they're close like that, you kind of want to aim with the ATGM itself. Now, helis, I think I've got more heli kills in this thing than I have actual tanks, because helis are quite useful. This is quite useful for taking down helis. But here, we got shot by a Chrysler XM1, I believe. We hit him there, we hit his gun, we were on fire, and we had a lot of stuff to repair. So we weren't in such a good condition. I think it's about 40 seconds repair we had here. Now, he's going to reverse, he's going to repair his gun, he's going to come back. Now, once I repair this, I was going to go back round the edge of C where I was going to go originally, so right down into the bottom, you know, kind of bottom right hand corner of the map, and, you know, flank round and, you know, go roughly where that XM1 actually is, go where he is and, you know, shoot them as they come to B and C and kind of protect B and C. But as you can see here, as we're about to finish repairing, I move along. I see him the first time in the bushes, and I'm like, okay, I can't hit him because there's some bushes in the way, and the ACGM will blow up. So I decide to move round him, and we both see each other at the same time. I fire my ACGM, but as I was explaining to you earlier, he has a higher velocity, so his round got to me before my round got to him. And that's how engagements usually go in this, unless, you found the spot that's, no one knows you're there. Okay, there he is. We fire at him, he's fired at us, we can't move, and he's moved out the way of our ACGM before we've even had chance to move out the way of his. And he'll fire again in a minute to kill us. There you go. There's the kill shot. So yeah, not having any armor isn't very useful. I mean, the Chrysler itself doesn't have any armor. The first time we hit him, we hit his turret. Maybe if we aimed a little bit lower, we could have killed him. So yeah, that's the AMX-30 ACRA in a nutshell. You know, as I was saying, you have to flank, you have to go around the sides. You can't just run into battle with this thing. There's no armor, there's no, high velocity rounds, there's no close range rounds. You have to stay far away. You have to watch out for trees and fences and stuff that will blow up the ATGM, because it will. Bushes just demolish the ATGM. What I will say though is this thing is quite useful for helis. Now, if you want to stay at spawn and shoot helis with it, you can do that. But yeah, I mean, as a tank in general, is it worth the grind? I would say no. I mean, it's at the bottom of its line, so I mean, you're gonna get there eventually. But just go for the AMX-40 and the Leclercs and stuff. This isn't really worth. I mean, it's 8.3. It doesn't have stabilization. If this thing had stabilization, it would be a hell of a lot better. A hell of a lot better. The AMX-30s in general would be better with stabilization, but they don't have it. Only the premium Super has stabilization, which is a shame. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this helps you decide whether you want this tank or not. I mean, it's okay. I mean, you can get kills with it. I got a few kills here and around. And we got one kill today in the video. The final decision is up to you. Do you want this tank? Do you not? That's up to you. I hope I influenced your decision, whether you want this or not. But yeah, I hope this video helped. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will catch you in the next video, which will be episode 7. See you later, guys. Peace out.